Big changes start Monday for families and businesses along the border.
Now it'll be more people. We should be busy because we've been waiting for a year and a half.
The U.S. prepares to lift travel restrictions. We dig deeper into why it's important to Texas and what travelers need to know. An unexpected outcome in a Texas House race as a blue district turns red.
A lot of people want to make it a Republican-Democrat deal, and I didn't play like that.
Why the man who won says his surprise victory goes beyond partisan politics.
Waiting to get care is probably emotionally damaging to a lot of veterans.
People who served our country often face a long wait for medical care. We dig deeper into the healthcare backlog facing veterans.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Governor Greg Abbott says he's ordered Texas law enforcement and National Guard personnel along the border to take steps to prepare for a large migrant caravan making its way through Mexico. The governor spoke Thursday in Midland about Operation Lone Star. That's an effort he launched in March to surge Texas law enforcement and military to the border. He said as the caravan of migrants moves north through Mexico, the state needs to take steps to prepare now.
They are laying down razor wire to prevent people from coming across the border. They are putting down these massive containers that you see on container ships or 18-wheelers to create a blockade, stopping people from coming across the border.
About 2,000 people are in the caravan. A large number are women and children from Central America struggling to make the grueling journey. Many hope to make it to the Texas border with the goal of seeking asylum in the United States. The efforts to tighten security are happening on the eve of a big change at the border. Starting Monday, the U.S. and Mexico plan to roll back travel restrictions on non-essential border travel. Those restrictions went in because of the COVID pandemic. It hit businesses hard, cutting off thousands of customers who would normally cross into Texas to shop. For merchants, the reopening comes at an important time.
Because it's on season, like November is perfect. I wish it would have been this month, but November is great because we get all the shopping on November and December. Those 2 months are very strong for us.
The restrictions have also had a huge effect on families in South Texas. Some have been separated from relatives who live on the other side of the border for nearly 2 years. We want to dig deeper into why the reopenings are important to Texas and what travelers need to know. For insight, we're joined by Border Report correspondent Sandra Sanchez. Welcome.
Thank you.
So when were border restrictions actually put into place and who did it affect?
The Trump administration in March of 2020 put into place border restrictions as the coronavirus pandemic was beginning, and it was an effort to stop the spread of infection across the border. This affected non-essential travelers, those whose jobs were not considered crucial to the American economy, but it resulted in keeping families apart, separated by the Rio Grande, and it affected border communities from shoppers coming across.
Yeah, you mentioned the economy. This change, how big a boost will this be to the economy?
Keep in mind, before the pandemic, about 18 million Mexican nationals came across the United States every year, and they spent about $19 billion in goods and services. So it's a tremendous boost. Mom and pop businesses in border communities relied on these shoppers, as did the revenue from the foot traffic at the bridges. A lot of these international bridges are owned by municipalities. This revenue helps to fund police and fire officials, and so they lost millions of dollars.
Starting on Monday, what do people need to do if they want to cross the border?
So Mexican nationals who have valid visa paperwork and if they are fully vaccinated can come across. They must be prepared to declare that they're fully vaccinated. CBP officers say that they don't have the ability to necessarily ask everyone to check their cards, but they should be prepared to show one if they have it. Keep in mind, Mexico does not vaccinate children, so anyone under 18 from Mexico with valid visas will still be allowed to come across as well. But be prepared for long lines because during this pandemic, we did see a lot of irregular immigration across the southern borders, specifically the Rio Grande Valley where I live, and a lot of those CBP officers and Border Patrol agents were detailed to the border, and so now they're going to have to redirect the personnel to the ports of entry.
Now, we're talking a lot about the efforts to further tighten security on the border. Does this have any effect on migrants trying to cross without paperwork?
Department of Homeland Security officials tell me that Title 42, which is what's called when they return someone back who has crossed without paperwork at an illegal port, right, who's crossed in between the ports of entry, Title 42 will still be in effect. So if you shouldn't legally cross, if you don't have the proper paperwork, they're still going to send you back if you can't make your case for being here.
All right, Sandra Sanchez, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can find more reporting from Sandra and our full team along the border right now at borderreport.com. A South Texas lawmaker who's one of the most senior members of the Texas Senate is leaving the legislature.
I'm pleased to announce my retirement because a lot of wonderful things are yet to come in my life.
Eddie Lucio announced that he will not seek re-election. The Brownsville Democrat has served 30 years in the state Senate. Lucio previously said he expected to run for re-election in 2022, but he likely would have faced a challenger in the primary. Fellow Democrats have criticized Lucio for his support of anti-abortion laws. Lucio was a co-author of Senate Bill 8, the Texas law that bans almost all abortions in the state. Lubbock Republican John Frullo also announced that he plans to leave the legislature at the end of his term. Frullo was first elected to the Texas House in 2010. As the courts grapple with the latest abortion restrictions in Texas, new research shows more people turning to Plan C, a pill that induces abortion. We investigate the law aiming to stop those pills that come through the mail and the loophole that's helping some people get around it. Republicans score an unexpected victory in a Texas House race.
We wanted to bring out voters, and we had a lot bigger turnout than expected.
We talked to the man who won about what it took to make a blue district turn red.